Salute to my sponsor, Hello Fresh, man. Hello Fresh. Get it right, man. Yeah, that's another thing too. You wanna take what I gave you yesterday, use it as some subliminal shots, as expected. And like I said, going back and forth with the spectacles about who won the election and who didn't, as you falsifies advertisements and disinvaluize your court of opinions, which is you want to hide the so-called justices' addresses, as if that's going to make a difference to what's really taking place. And like I said before, man, I'm not structured in a manner to even feel the need to appropriate whatever it is that you and your followers have speculated against, which is periodically over systematical times. It, it ostracizes my nigga crack movement. And within that same process, it only declares that, like I said, more presidential duties must continue. And another thing too, like I said, you can have those situations. And like I said, you waiting on it just the same way as if I'm waiting on it. So let's continue waiting and continue jotting down the information. It's, like I said, you use data. I'm going off of what I've systematically structured. Oops. Let me grab my kosher. I need my kosher. Need my kosher. Yeah, it's a homemade kosher, by the way. Yeah, that's another. Like I said, it's a whole spectacle of underneath spectacles which need to be addressed, but we're not going to address those right now because you're buying time. I'm not buying that. It's too expensive. And systematically, you buying time because some things took place that you can't control, which is the pandemic. So, like I said, I'm not angry about it. I just accepted it all as a whole, as your president. And within that process of me accepting it, I found some things that was doing some things that possibly shouldn't have out of desperation. But that's fine because, like I said, I'm not buying time. I'm waiting on it. Man. And as I wait, it seems as if others are too. And through my systematical situation, I somehow established that understanding. And I wouldn't say I'm disgusted at it all. I wouldn't say I'm egregious to it all. I just didn't understand it and still don't really understand it because I'm trying to figure out what is it that you have to gain from it all, little slice. I mean, sorry, not little. I almost called you little slice. It's orange slice. Yeah, that is an orange slice. Yeah, I liked it, that name, but I stopped calling it because after I seen you get upset because I coughed a few times and all that. I said, okay, you got upset. All right, fine. It's a cough. But periodically, could you please explain to the people, other than saying that you want to make something great again, I want to know what do you have to gain from all of this that you took place. I mean, that's then again. I don't want to just ask orange slices. That would be like discriminating. I asked the world leaders this: what did you have to gain within the past 4 to 5 years, and soon to be keep going? Because, like I said, systematically absorbed what you was doing and said, "Oh wow, this is intriguing." I wouldn't do it myself, but it's intriguing. And then to see the amounts of this and that, only systematically let me know that underneath it all, there's an underlying agenda. Now, could you tell the people what that is, and what do the people have to gain from it all? As what we know about Trump's election meeting with Michigan officials. Nah, this deeper than the Michigan officials. It's more or less, I'm seeing the government divided into two different groups within two different groups. Meaning, Democrats can have Republicans, in their legislation. And the same thing, vice versa. Republicans can have Democrats in their legislation. So the game can get a little tricky either way, to the point where, let's just say, a senator, Democrat, and got a Republican councilman, it get tricky. And like I said, this is a systematic situation that you don't want to allow my nigga crack campaigning. Because, like I said, I would like to put an end to all the conniving and underhanded, underbelly, cutthroat situations. Because I feel as though it's only out of desperation. And shout out to my sponsor, St. Jude. And within that desperation, like I said, I'm trying to figure out what was it that you had to gain. Because it seems like a total nightmare. Like something out of Elm Street. Why one president will not accede to the next one, and the next one is saying that he's exceeding. It's like a clash. Or the two helmets on what you call it, the Sunday NFL Super Bowl. And then you say he's the oldest president to be elected. Because of the simple fact is so many people want the position. And so many people that others deem qualified due to their followers. Now me, on the other hand, I'm just trying to follow the rules and law. But from the systematical point that this president placed in order, that's up for grabs. In more ways than one. And like I said, I'm not here to combat none of that. But, like I said, is there going to be justice? Or is there going to be a justifiable means of an opinion based upon the followers? And does it make it justifiably right? Like I said, court of opinions, code of opinions. It's not accepting the niggercrats niggerocracy. Because, like I said, you was able to establish your parties, you was able to establish your government. And like I said, I don't oppose it. I would like to become 3/5 of it. Oh man, that's beautiful. Because systematically in your constitution it never changed that I'm still that. So based upon what you deem suitable may not be suitable for 3/5 of a human. So, like I said, what would you do with 3/5 of a human? Oh man. Pfizer applies for emergency FDA approval for COVID-19 vaccine, but Trump says Nah, he doesn't want to go that route. He'd rather go with Maduro and use his specialists to approve their vaccine out of, some subliminal spite that, like I said, media and social status and followers will get you. Why? Because of the simple fact is, it's like he wants to be this, who you call it, fearmonger in the world of Wakanda. But he's not, you know what I mean? He wants to be. Because of systematical approaches that he feels as though he should be. Which is justifiably okay. But it's going to get, like I said, what have you accumulated within the past term or whatever? Or the previous, like I said, we can go ahead and continue. I'm expecting it and I'm hoping for it. Because I see what you do out of desperation. And it always sends to do something else. And it sends you right back to where you drew before. When New York City schools reopened, 765,000 students. Like I said, there's some individuals that done some things and rushed some things and just said COVID was a non-existent. It was just like a common cold until some of their loved ones and other things of that nature were involved, and then it escalated into a pandemic, and then from the pandemic, it escalated even further to the point where hundreds and thousands of people were dying per month. And it seems it still is that number, but like I said, with the masks and other things, it seems to slow it down a little bit. Nah, I ain't doing none of that, but like I said before, I have to adjust to a systematical program because someone feels, acts, and deems themselves superior than others. Scientists, how has the pandemic changed your work? Because like I said, I have multiple fields now. So if you're asking me the question, how do I feel as a scientist? I felt like what was going to take place was going to take place. I felt like out of desperation, let me just do something to see what happens. And by the time I decided that decision, I already had my mind up that if this goes this way and that goes that way, then I'll see. And right now I'm seeing. The course of action and what I've seen that was out of my control. COVID vaccine are 95% effective. What does that mean? If we're going to question the public, as scientists. What does that mean? Pandemic, pandemic, pandemic. Oh man, they put it blatantly. These algorithms, algorithms could end the scourge of tuberculosis. Oh man, it's like you create things to get away from the truth. New York Times at Wharton, a new leader confronts the culture wars. Listen, this is not a culture war. It's truth versus false. Now, who deems that to be truth and who deems that to be false? That's totally up to the opinionators. And I am no way intrigued to force my opinion upon you. That would be an act of slavery by the president. You gonna think how I think? No, I can't. I can't. I wish I could. I can't. Coronavirus. I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at the fact that some people think that it's possible. Even, like I said, twin genetics can't even do that. Constantly. Coronavirus in California overnight curfew in several counties. Now listen, you went as far as a mask is concerned, but a curfew may be extremely too far. But like I said, out of desperation and fear. But I'm here to assure you there's no fear to take place because nothing is really as much worth as much as you claim it to be. You didn't decrease the human value by lives lost. Parent erupt in frustration as New York schools close. No, listen, that's not a point of frustration. It's a point of dedication and hard work and self-learning. Excuse me. To a process and a point where it must be done because no one's getting saved from a pandemic. I mean, periodically from the point, you have to imagine it. To the point where it doesn't overwhelm you. You know it's there because government officials have told you it's a pandemic. And to want to send kids into an environment like that, knowing that they can catch a deadly disease. I'm not saying you're wrong or right. It's just due to the circumstances. Man arrested after woman pushed into New York City subway tracks as trained. Like I said, stay at home if you don't need to go. You don't need to go out. But As far as the curfew is concerned, if you need to go out at a certain time and you need to attach to something, then like I said, you should be able to, at any given point in time. Bad enough, like I said, the gas station closed at a specific time, so fill up. Ahead of time. Unseen J.R.R. Tolkien writing to shed new light on his Middle Earth. Like I said, man, if you decide you want a Middle Earth and you got a history of followers, then it can be decided that way. New Jersey boy who swallowed toy magnets needs surgery for holes. It's not enough. Health experts say Ohio governors new COVID-19 orders. Jose Valencios, iconic Felix Navidad, turns 50 and celebrates with a new lockdown and restrictions sweep across the country as COVID-19 increases. Like I said, Rudy Giuliani caught in compromising position in new Borat film. New coronavirus breathalyzer test in the works at university. Ivanka Trump slams New York tax investigations as 100% motivated by politics. California's newsroom imposes new lockdowns, includes country where he. PA governor announces new COVID rules, including wearing a mask. From the looks of things, you're a quarter past late, and even if you was to try to restrict and everything, it still isn't applicable due to the fact that the pandemic ain't getting no better, it's getting worse. You even said that. So, might as well just, how you said, not have a free-for-all. But if it ends, try to have as much fun as possible before it does. And with that being said, peace. I gotta go.